Alright, welcome back to another episode of my movie review series. Episode 69. Now, yesterday I said that I was going to come back and do one more vampire film, and it's going to be cutting edge with a very sharp blade. 1998, Jack. Wesley Snipes, Chris Christopherson, Stephen Dorff. Yeah, man, this is it. This is it. This is what I've been working up to. I mean, this right here, this is my main event for the week. Okay, my week-long series of doing vampire movies. This is it. After this is over, because I'm ending it with the vampire hunter himself. Oh yeah, I tell you, man. Picture this. You're in a comic book store, like no comic book store you have ever seen. I bet some of you out there have never seen a comic book store, period. But pretend that you have. Okay, you walk into this comic book store, you see all of these legendary books, shelf after shelf after shelf. It's like a grocery store. You're just going into aisles and aisles. Nothing but great stories that's been written throughout many, many years. And if we're talking Batman and Superman, then it's going to be 75 plus years. Okay. Many, many years. And then you come right by this one book called Tomb of Dracula, number 10. Okay. Issue 10 of Tomb of Dracula. You just walk by and you see this book. You pick it up. And don't forget, this is a comic book store like you've never seen. I mean, some of these comic book stores that you wouldn't be allowed to touch any of the books, especially the ones right in front of the behind the cashier desk. You wouldn't be allowed to touch those on the desk or behind it. But this is a comic book store like you've never seen. And you come across this one book, Tomb of Dracula, number 10, issue 10. You open it up, and you see this new character named Blade. Now, this is back in 1971. Okay, Tomb of Dracula, number 10, back in 1971, which means Blade he looks much more different than you would expect him to look, as far as last looks is concerned, So yeah, you see this black dude with a super sweet, super tight afro, this orange outfit, this terrible looking orange outfit, and his green cape. Yeah. And he got a long stake that he uses as a sword. But yeah, man, that was the look of Blade a long time ago, back in the 1970s, man. Tomb of Dracula. Yeah, Tomb of Dracula, number 10. His first appearance. And that's how he looked, But hey, that was back in the 70s, the early 70s, back when, and just like always, anything that happened in pop culture, anything that was current at the time, comic books is going to pick it up and take that element and use it as their own. And at that time, back in the early 70s, the black exploitation films, like Superfly, Shaft, anything that Pam Grier was in, Cleopatra Jones, you know, Black Caesar, any of those movies, all that shit was hot at that time. That shit was hot. It was happening at that time. Hot, happening, groovy at that time. Yeah, baby. Solid. Anyway, enough of this 70s references. Shit, I'm not gonna outdate myself. But yeah, I tell you though, all of that shit back in that time frame, that was the in thing. Okay, that was trending. Okay, so they're gonna take elements of that, and you're gonna take this and of course, in the 70s, you had the Hammer films too. Christopher Lee as Dracula. That was hot at that time also. So, with all of that being said, they took all of that and they formed it, they shaped it, they molded into this brand new comic book character, and they put it in the pages. They got this jive talking, tight, round afro wearing brother, and they had him be basically the Black Van Helsing. They had him hunt down Dracula. He was going to be the one to kill that vampire. So that was pretty much the origin of Blade at that time. And then, when the years started to progress, he was, and at the time, at that time, he was only human. He was only a human. He was not to have human, have vampire. But later on, they revamped him in the 80s. And he had the motorcycle outfit, the motorcycle jacket, the pants, red shirt under it, and he had this this damn it, what you call it? How commandos have their their bullets all right here, looking like a sash, all right here. Well, that's what Blade had. He had these stakes all strapped into this this sash type of garment, whatever hell it's called. He had that. Yeah, he had these, kind of like spikes on his jacket too, kind of like Ghost Rider, almost. Not quite, but not quite though. And got rid of the fro, and he had the high top fade going on. Hey, it was the 80s, don't forget. So short high top fade, nothing like kid in play. But but it's still it's the 80s. So that's how he looked at that time, and they made him into a half human, half vampire, and that's what they used in that Spider-Man episode, And and then after that, it wasn't much Blade comic books going on, but the character, he was still around in the Marvel Universe. He was in other comic book pages, not his own, but he was in other pages. So the character was still alive. It was still going on at that time. So here's where the movie comes in, because the movie came out in the late 90s. So all of that was mentioned, everything that you've seen in the pages. Now we have Stephen Norton, David S. Goyer, and Wesley Snipes. They all changed this character forever, completely forever. Okay, you still have human, half vampire, but they changed up the look. It's now modern times. You got this funky haircut. Kind of like this, something that he did himself. Got a nice little shape going on here and all around, and then he's all tatted up. Wearing the black leather. He got this black overcoat. It's starting to give you a nice little. It's starting to give you a nice little mixture of what he looked like back in the 70s and the 80s. So they knew they knew what he was doing, and they knew what they were doing, and then they got these the stakes strapped around his leg this time, and they are metal stakes this time, not just metal, but it's silver. So yeah, and he got a whole new sword, a real metal titanium acid edge blade. And yeah, baby, this was it. This was the blade that we all know and love. Yeah, I'll tell you, the movies, it changed it up, and it changed it forever, because the Blade in the comics nowadays, that's how he looked. Only thing is, now he's he's bald headed, So yeah, that's how he look now. And he got these badass sunglasses too, in the movie, in the movie, and in the comics, in the feature comics, and the current comics right now, you got these shades. So yeah, that's the Blade that we all know and love now. So, with all that being said, man, when they finally had a chance to release this movie, they made the movie. Finally had a chance to release this movie. This was don't forget, this is 1998. This was coming off the heels of the huge failure that was Batman and Robin. Okay, at this point, nobody did not want to see another comic book movie ever again. So when they put out Blade, they didn't make it look like a comic book movie. Not at all. Okay, no indication that this is a comic book movie, a superhero movie. None whatsoever. Okay, this was a straight up vampire picture. Okay, straight up vampire movie. All right. So when they put out the trailer, put the TV spot, this was a vampire picture, and a much different looking vampire picture than the ones that we all know and love. Everything from Dracula in 31, 32. What is 31, 32? Oh, anyway, in Dracula in the early 30s, all the way down to the Hammer films, and then you got these all these 80s films that I recently covered. All these vampire films, and then you get Blade in 1998. 100% different type of vampire film. When we saw it in theaters, we saw it as a vampire film. It wasn't until after we saw it that it was a comic book movie. And yeah, man, I tell you, that just swept the rug right from under us, man. That swept the rug right from under us. That threw us for a loop, because we did not know that it was a comic book. Any casual fans out there that was not quite familiar with Blade, that did not know anything about Blade, and then they did not know that it was a comic book movie. Okay, not at all. So once they found out, okay, let's go to the comic book shop and let's go and look for these books, huh? And interesting enough, I did do that one day. I did not see the movie in theaters, but I did know about the movie. But when I went to when I went to a bookstore at that time, bookstore not only did so many novels and short stories, but they sold comics too, mostly graphic novels. So when I went to see the spinning shelf, right? That rack, the spinning rack. When I came across that, I saw a huge rack full of Blade comics. So I'm thinking, yeah, the movie that came out, okay, it's a comic book. Okay, picked it up, took a look at it, yeah, okay, yeah, and this is looking pretty good, as far as the artwork is concerned, and the content in it. Okay, yeah, this is pretty good stuff, man. I didn't know that this was an actual comic book, yeah, and for Marvel Comics too, really? Wow, ooh, yeah, yeah, but then it's dawned on me now. And don't forget, when I mentioned Spider-Man, yeah, he did appear in an episode of the Spider-Man animated series. In that huge, long story arc, Sins of the Father story arc. I forgot which chapter it was. I think it was either chapter 7 or a later chapter. But anyway, Spider-Man, Sins of the Father, chapter whatever, and the title of the episode was called Blade, the Vampire Hunter. Okay, now this guy, he got to be legit if you're gonna appear in a Spider-Man anime series episode. He gotta be legit, right? So hey, so you put two and two together, and then you got this movie that recently came out. Now, whew, okay, I think might be onto something here, huh? Yeah, then once you start getting into certain things, you start to research on the history of that thing, and yep, that's how I pretty much knew about Blade. And yeah, to release this movie, to release this superhero film, this comic book movie, off the heels of a terrible Batman film. Oh boy, talk about hitting the jackpot on that gamble, because people want to look at X-Men, which came out in 2000, or Spider-Man, which came out in 2002. People want to look at them and say that those were the first to be a part of this new revamped series of Marvel films. Not the Marvel Cinematic Universe that started in 2008. Not that. But these early stages of these Marvel films, which was Blade, and then there was X-Men, and then Spider-Man, and then others afterwards. Okay? Yeah. That was the real start of it. Not X-Men, not Spider-Man. It was Blade back in 98, Jack. That was the prototype. That was the gamble right there. And it hit the jackpot because of the smart marketing that they pulled just for you to go and see this movie. Okay. Yeah, they knew about Batman and Robin being a complete dud. So they shined away for the superhero aspect and gave you the vampire aspect. Okay, this movie is much more of a pretty good mixture. The second one was all horror. The second movie, all horror, and the third movie was all action. But this first movie was a pretty good mixture of both horror and action. Okay. So, with this coming out, and it hit big, especially at that time when Wesley was, he was at the top of his game. Nobody wasn't fucking with Wesley Snipes at that time. Okay, anybody that was fucking with him was the ones that was going to see his movies. Okay, so yeah, and yeah, his movies was still being in theaters at that time. Not like these days when you see them straight to video. Psst. Hey, That's what happens when you burn bridges. I'm sorry, but yeah, man. I hope you don't see this. But yeah, man, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, Wesley. Yeah, he was hot at that time, just hot. And for him to do this, for him to do this role, you know, he made it much more hot. He revamped this character that was nothing but a jive talking vampire killer in the early 70s. He revamped this character, made it streetwise, he made it super tough, he made it the most hardcore badass motherfucker you would ever see. Okay? Everybody want to be like Blade. Everybody. Hell, man, me back in high school, and this movie came back, this movie came out in 98. I was in high school at that time, you know, early years of high school, Yeah, I got me a big leather coat, that I still wear to this day. I got me a big leather coat. I had my sunglasses on. I made sure I had a nice little tight haircut going on, man. Yeah, oh yeah. And oh hey, I wore black anyway. I wore black a lot anyway. I still wear a lot of black to this day. I got on black right now. You can't see it because of the filter, but still, trust me. So yeah, man, I tell you, yeah. Would it be like Blade? Yeah, I was Blade, and plus, I was a martial artist at that time too, still am now, but still, I was practicing a lot more than I was practicing now. But still, I was a sharp martial artist at that time. So, when I was doing my little, I guess it was cosplay, everyday cosplay, Yeah, I want to be like Blade. That's it. Hey, Blade, role model for young black boys, young black teenage boys, you know, coming in high school, I tell you, didn't help much with the women. I tell you that, but hey, I ain't care. I was trying to be like Blade, Oh boy, what was I thinking back then? I tell you, you look back and you see yourself young and stupid. Woo! I tell you, yeah, man, that was, yeah, something about your boy, didn't you? I tell you, that's a real fun time. Yeah, didn't work well with the women, but I got some dudes on my side. No, I got them by my side. Yeah. Anyway, Blade was a huge phenomenon, for a while. But yeah, us black kids, we finally got ourselves a superhero, a real superhero. Not that bullshit back in the early 90s with Meteor Man. What the hell, what that was. We got ourselves a real superhero, something that we get to emulate. That was Blade for me. And this movie right here, I'll tell you, yeah, Blade, yeah, he was one tough motherfucker, Yeah, he was hardcore, okay? You did not want to fuck with him. You did not want to get in there and mix it up. Because, he's an exceptional fighter. And plus, he is a brother, so yeah, he will mix it up. He will, take any type of style and he'll mix it into his own. The way he was moving we had the opening scene of that movie. The best opening scene that you will see in a vampire film. With homeboy and his girl. They go into this club, this big rave party. Everybody is dancing. The whole place is all crowded, and everybody just dancing. Next thing everybody, they started looking at him like he's fresh meat, which he was. But yeah, everybody, they're dancing, and they're noticing him, and he bumps into Deacon Frost, and decomposing. He looks at him, he walks away, But yeah, everybody just doing their thing, Next thing yeah, this cat, he's trying to mingle with the people, but they ain't having it. They're pushing him around. You see his girl, she dancing with another girl. He trying to get in there with both of them. Have a nice little dancing menage. They push him away. What the fuck is going on here, right? Next thing yeah, you see you feel a little bit drops of water, coming down his face and coming down his hand. You see that the water is not exactly water, it looks like blood. Next thing you know, the DJ, he screams out, bloodbath. The lights go up, and you see the sign, bloodbath, right behind them, and the sprinklers comes on and start raining all down everybody. And, the fire sprinklers, it's raining blood. Everybody is now completely soaked 100% in blood, including homeboy there. So, yeah, he's seeing this, he's starting to panic. He see his girlfriend, what's wrong, baby? She get the veins going, and now he's going crazy. He's just looking around. He's living a living nightmare right now. He's stuck in a room filled with vampires. Next thing you know, they started kicking his ass all over the place. Next thing you know, yeah, he runs into a pair of boots that is not soaked in blood. Now he looks up and he sees the man himself, Blade, the Daywalker. Yeah. He sees him and all the vampires in that room. They now see their living nightmare. Yeah, they see the boogeyman himself. The one that he hides in their closet, hides under their beds, the one that comes at them at night. Literally, he comes at them at night. Yeah, they see their living nightmare standing right in front of them. So, hey, yeah, don't forget, there's many of them, there's only one of him. So what they gonna do? Run? Most of them did after Blade made his first attack. Yeah, some of them tried to take a stand, but others, they got smart and ran away. Some of them didn't make it. Because Blade, he was in there literally cleaning the house. Okay? Yeah, every single weapon he had, the shotgun, the machine gun, the machine, the handgun, not the machine gun, but the automatic handgun he got, that customized automatic handgun, he's blasting away at everybody blasting with the shotgun, taking out his steaks, putting them into hearts, just whooping ass, taking names and taking no names. You just whooping ass, sticking vampires all over the place, man. I tell you, it was a huge jam session, and Blade was the artist. Yeah, baby. Yeah, so few of the vampires, yeah, they coming in, yeah, they're gonna act like I said, they're gonna act like they're gonna really do something. Yeah, that's him. Get him. Fuck him up. We're gonna jack you up. Make him hurt bad. Woo! Yeah, Blade draws out his sword. Draws line into the blood-soaked floor. Who's gonna cross it first? Yeah, so, they start getting their attack in, and Blade starts chopping them up. Slicing, dicing. He ain't fucking with my dude. Yeah, baby. But yeah, that was Blade, though. One of the best opening scenes in any vampire film. One of the best. If not one of the best, it was the best. Period. Try and deny me. Go ahead. Look up a vampire movie that is better than that one. Go ahead. Look up an opening scene that's better than that one. I want to see it. Try and convince me. But yeah, I tell you. There was no messing with him. There was no messing with Blade. He was the man. He still is the man. And Marvel, they require the rights back to Blade, So whenever they're going to use them, hopefully it'll be another film, maybe. Disney's track record, they're not going to pull that trigger and get an R-rated film in their cinematic universe, their Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're not gonna do that. Nah, I doubt it. Only way we might see Blade again is on Netflix, a TV show on Netflix. Maybe, probably, possibly. Who knows? We're gonna have to find out in later times and down in the future. But yeah, I tell you, man, this movie though, it's a badass film. It's the shit. A straight 5 out of 5. And that's my review. And I'm sticking to it. Now, tomorrow, Sunday, Zombie Sunday, once again, I'm going back to George A. Romero, another classic from him. So you stick around, keep it locked right here, Jack. And check out my other shit right here. Subscribe to me right here. And in the meantime, in between time, enjoy Blade. Because this show is off.